Alright. Alright, so that's it. Um, after playing the last one, episode 3, but that's not the completion of episode 3. I believe it's another section of episode 3. Yeah, there's another section of episode 3, so episode 3 isn't finished yet. So, based on the story, um, I would say it's not better than episode 2, that's for sure. And definitely a little bit better than, actually, no, not really. Yeah, it's not better than episode 2, and not better than episode 1. So, those two are good, and it's hard to say. It's a slightly improvement within the story as things goes further along. The whole Neil thing was completely stupid in my opinion. So he kind of took me out of it right there. So this is how it's going to be. The game's at a 4.2 for me right now. I would give it like just one more extra point for the story, like 4.3. Because as I was playing the story and going along, I was getting more interested in what's going on, finding out why Alex Wesker um, had a sister, or Albert Wesker had a sister, or if it's just him or duplicate of him. So far, nothing, no information about Natalia, so that's kind of a drawback too. But I give it an extra point with regards to filling out the story more. Um, I would say, the part with Claire discovering that Neo, she can't trust Neo, can't trust anyone, is an eye opener for her. If it wasn't within previous Resident Evil games, it will be this one. So Resident Evil 3, I mean, the third episode of this game, Revelations, is in the story is more of a showing that the naive behavior of Claire sometimes get the best of her. She's too trusting. As she matures, she starts to become less trusting of certain people who are considered her close friends. But I believe this is the more eye opener for her. This is the actually game that shows her that those who are closest to her are most of the time pretending doing the good deed for terror save, but it's not actually the case. Actually, it's bad. So that's that. There's also the factor of the different levels, the different type of enemies that you're going to be fighting, and it's not better than episode 2 enemies to be honest with you. Um, like the grenade launcher, fire grenade launcher guy, and then the like tyrant boss at the end. Not a great improvement to me with regards to episode 1 and episode 2. They were just cannon fodder put there to add a little bit more mix up within the game to make it more interesting as you play episode to episode, so you don't get to play the same type of enemies over again. But honestly, I didn't feel it. I didn't feel like that boss of episode 3 was good. I would prefer that it wasn't a boss that with a horde of enemies. That would be far more interesting. But episode 2 and episode 1 already did that, so episode 3 was going to do a boss fight. They could have done any other boss fight than a giant tyrant looking guy. I don't know what's with Resident Evil. I always wanted to fight giant tyrant looking guys. I mean, if you're going to do a tyrant, don't make him a boss. Make him like a mini boss. Make a different new type of boss. And the excuse for this game is like 5 years old. No, man, they've been doing that whole tyrant thing from a long time. That's pathetic. So I only give it a 4.3 simply because as you progress, the maps get a little bit more interesting. The locations are a little bit more interesting. You start to reveal the puzzle of the story a lot more, and things get to peel away. You get to get new type of weapons. So just very small additive towards the story. That's all. Just a very small additive. But it has more drawbacks than it does have interesting. So that 4.3, if I really think about it, I would have to subtract away from that 4.3 because it got more wrong than it did right this time. And so that 4.3 will probably still stay at a 4.2 because it got the big boss was cliche as hell, and that took me out of it. And then the fact that Neo was this untrustworthy, shady guy, could have saw that coming. As kind of an obvious thing. I mean, I at the beginning I didn't know that Neo was the one that was selling him out, but for him to get backstabbed by Alexia Wesker, that was an obvious, you know, like a cliche thing within Resident Evil. So I didn't like that part of the story, and I liked that big boss fight at the end. Everything else was kind of good, so I would deduct it from back from that 4.3 back down to a 4.2. And even a 4.1, if you think about it, if you talk about boss fight and then the cliche nonsense within the story. So I would probably, to be completely honest, knock it down to a 4.2. I mean, a 4.1. So that's where I am right now with regards to the story and regards to the content. I mean, they only gave you an interesting little puzzle to solve, which I would say that's also positive. Puzzles are getting more interesting. That's why I say maybe you should stay at a 4.2 and not down to a 4.1. Because the puzzles are, I wouldn't say puzzle, but how to solve certain things and unlock certain things and get certain things are more interesting. Allow you to think a little bit more when it comes to finding things, searching for things, and cooperating. The cooperative aspect is a little bit better. So even though it has more drawbacks than it does positives, I would say if you really were to evaluate the positives and the negatives, I would say they're about equal. And only one more negative from a positive. So I would say it's a 4.2. I mean, I would have put it at a 4.3 if there were less negatives than positives. But to me, I think there are more negatives than positives. They're only, with regards to the story, they only add two things additional to the story. One, that Neil betrayed them, and two, that the tyrant boss was an obvious cliche. So those two bad things. I guess you could find the good things that are cooperative or more interesting based on how you do certain things, but that's been said before in episode 1 and 2 that it would eventually get more interesting when it comes to solving things and the type of puzzles that you get to solve. I'm comparing every single thing, how the different puzzles work for each episode and how cooperative work for each episode. And so the equal amount of points I give for the episode 3, I would have to subtract it based on the bad things. So it's like episode 3 didn't really earn anything great whatsoever at all. If at anything, I would say it's neutral. So I would still keep it at 4.2. I mean, I want to give it more points, but it has bad things. And having a new machine gun doesn't improve that. And having more interesting puzzles don't achieve that. That's an obvious that that's going to happen. So that's what's going on right now. Episode 3 was garbage, in my opinion. Episode 2 was very good, and episode 1 was good. Or if you're the type of person that played this game, you might find episode 1 to be good and episode 2 to be okay. And then find episode 3 to be cliche. So, with regards to the story and everything, I would say this game is still in the 4 category. It's still in the 4 category. It has not even gotten to the 5 category yet. So if Barry's not Barry's one, if his part of episode 3 isn't good, he'll probably stay at a 4.3. I mean, I'm guaranteed I'm gonna find something to make it a 4.3. If not, it will remain at the 4.2 I had it before. So Whatever I gave to the game, I now have to retract and take away from the game and leave it still at its 4.2 rating. So hopefully Barry's episode of episode 3, his section of episode 3, is far interesting, or far more active. The bosses are far more interesting. The weapons are far better, and interactions, how to solve things, are far more superior. And you get to discover certain very unique things that are far more superior. The most clear discovered with regards to episode 3 is that Neo betrayed her. 2, Alexia Wesker need to use Natalia for something. We don't know what that is. And 3, the Ouroboros virus that was taken from Resident Evil 5 is being manufactured and manipulated in this place for some type of experimental reasons. And we learned that in episode 2, but it started to flash more in episode 3 when it's revealed that Neo is from Revelations 1, was a supporter of the bad guy in Revelations 1. So the story of Neo was a good thing, and it made the whole episode 1 and 2 more logical of what's going on. But at the same time, him turning into a tyrant boss kind of subtracted from the whole purpose of him actually being a betrayer, because that was good, but then he turned into a giant tyrant boss. That was bad. They've done this before. Then he got betrayed and stabbed by the person he helped, which is obvious. So it made the story more interesting and fleshed it out more, but at the same time, it deducted from the story as well with its cliche nonsense. So hopefully Barry can get it from the 4.2 I have it up to a 4.3 or 4.4. If I find like extra little additive puzzles, or who knows, something weird and awkward might show up in the game that might make it very fun. I mean, at best, I believe this game is slightly above average. Why this game is in the 8 category, why this game is in the 7 category for certain people who do reviews, I will never know. Maybe people don't look at everything from that perspective. They just, okay, someone did the work, we'll give it 1, 2, 3, 4. Just giving a random number without doing things by slow decimal rating. I mean, everything is made in details. So, and I already spoke on the interactive menu. So I'm going to get into the story and continue from there on forward. And I'm going to see if Barry's story, continuation of the story, is interesting. Otherwise, this episode 3 will be a fail of the first 2 episodes. And please, dear God, let episode 4 be better than the first 2 episodes. Otherwise, I'll be pissed off. But like I said, I believe this will be slightly above average game. It doesn't deserve to be in no 8s and all that bullshit that people, so-called professionals, give it. It's like they don't even play the game. They don't even play the game. Like idiots that run a business, then, oh yeah, I have this degree, I can manage this, I could do this, I'm in charge of this, I'm more qualified to do the job than everyone else. But the product for which you're selling, the product for which you're showing, you don't know jack shit about it. Because 1, you don't have time to invest in it like that. You take the opinion of those who didn't go into the devils in the details when it comes to the game. And you know what? I would say you can flash that shit around like it's hot Christmas or something all you want, and say you're great. But at the end of the day, whatever umbrella you're wearing on top of your head, say I did this, yeah. You could do all that, but if you're all that you did, your cake still tastes like shit. It don't matter what name brand is associated with it or what franchise company you're working with. It's the same shit. So hopefully this is good. Barry, hopefully Barry's story is good. So let's continue. I'll shut up, and this time I'm gonna put the music on. I kept the BGM down because I just wanted to not hear the music, and I wanted to play while I hear my surroundings if enemy are creeping up on me. But this time I'm gonna put on the music.
Previously on Revelations 2.
Mother of balls! My life is awesome!
That bitch stuck a needle in me?
Claire, get up to the roof!
See? We're like sisters. Claire, we lost the girl.
Moira was trying to get to that tower when I was with her. Barry, there's something right there.
I've been waiting for you.
Wait. Well, that's one hell of a parking job.
Me and Moira got separated here. The nice guy came and got me.
Two Westers.
It was Alex Wesker. She's responsible for the experiment 6 months ago.
They called her the Overseer.
She took Moira away from me. And now I'll never get... And all for fucking what? I'm sorry.
It's okay. She said she was going to be reborn.
Reborn how? With a virus? Why did she need my little girl? Doesn't make any sense.
I'm sorry. I can't remember anything else.
Oh, sweetie, I'm sorry. It's my problem, not yours. Just take it easy.
Barry, are you okay?
Yeah, I was just thinking about how I used to go for walks like this with Moira and Polly.
Were you a good family?
We tried to be. Moira and I fought a lot. Even after she grew up.
Was it because she used bad words?
No. She just did that to tick me off. I'm the one that drove us apart. I messed up real bad as a father. She and Polly were playing in the house. I forgot to lock up my guns. And Moira, Polly had an accident.
Was it Moira's fault?
No. It was mine. But I raised my voice at her and I guess I never really got around to taking the blame. Polly survived, thank God. But not me and Moira. We started drifting apart.
I think she still loved you.
I appreciate you saying that. I'll tell you this much. I couldn't save her, but I'm gonna save you. I promise I'll get you off this island.
I know. Thanks, Barry. It's okay. I can walk now.
All right, partner. Down you go. We gonna get back to the surface. Not any safer down here. You okay?
Yeah, are you? There's something ahead. Be careful. The monster's coming! The monster's coming! The monster! The monster's coming! There's something ahead. Be careful. 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 Is he...
Yeah. Leave him be.
Poor man. He died all alone.
Wait. This is Moira's.
Molly, it's me. I think this is the end. I wanted to tell you I love you. Very. Daddy. I'm sorry, I was the bad daughter.
No. You're not the bad one.
Barry.
I'm here. Let's go. I am gonna wreck this island for what it did to her. Let's get out of here first. Stay close, okay?
I will.
dead end. Looks like we can open the sluice from higher up. Natalia, can you open the sluice from that side?
Okay, hang on! There's something ahead. Be careful. Perry, I can't get back. What do I do?
Just keep moving. We can meet up further ahead. Natalia, see if you can get this open!
Got it! There's something ahead. Be careful. There's something ahead. Be careful. There's something ahead. Be careful. careful.
Natalia, the sluice!
Got it! There's something ahead. Be careful. 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 Shoot this thing in my way!
Natalia, the sluice!
Got it!
Natalia, see if you can get this open!
Got it! It's getting closer! There's something ahead. Be careful. The monster isn't coming. The monster isn't looking this way. It's getting closer! something over there. There! Shoot! You missed! Higher! There! Shoot! Not there! Shoot! You missed! There! Shoot! Not there! More left! There! Shoot! monster isn't coming. The monster's coming! No, quickly!
Okay, we're out. Now to pick up Wesker's trail.
Right.
You know, you don't have to come with me for this.
I'm staying with you. I want to know the truth as much as you do.
Once upon a time, this must have been some kind of mine.
Harry, I think I remember something. I think that woman used to be down there somewhere.
Okay. Let's head down and look for a way across.
The old sack is gonna pay for what she did to Moira. I'm not leaving this island until she does.
There's something ahead. Be careful.
The only way up is that elevator.
This one's dead too. This one's dead too. Power switch for the conveyor belt. That should help me get things from point A to point B.
Just stay there.
Okay.
Good God, what a mess.
I'm gonna be sick.
We could probably use his power source.
I don't want to go by myself.
Just stay there. Is that thing? Follow me!
Right!
Just stay there!
Okay!
Follow me.
Right.
I'll throw my back out if I try to lug this thing all the way to the elevator. Looks like the whole power source has been removed. We'll have to find a replacement to get this baby moving. No power. That's a problem.
Just stay there.
Okay.
Follow me.
Right. There's something ahead. Be careful.
Just stay there.
Okay.
Follow me!
Right.
Not now! Damn it!
Monster!
Just stay there.
Okay.
Follow me.
Right.
Just stay there.
Okay.
Follow me! Just stay there.
Okay.
Follow me.
Right.
Just stay there.
Okay.
Follow me.
Right. Looks painful.
Just stay there! Just stay there.
Okay.
Follow me!
What now?
Let's keep at it. We'll have that old bitch cornered soon.
It shouldn't be like this. I wasn't afraid as I watched my hair turn gray and the flesh sag from my bones. But why aren't you changing? A failure like you. I'll crush you with my bare hands.
Next time on Revelations 2.
My whole life has been a prelude to this. My true birth.
Wherever she went, we can still catch her.
Nice fucking emergency exit!
Down below. I think that's where we'll find her.
Time to meet the cause of our misery.
You will die, child.
Run, 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 run!
All that remains is one final test.
For Resident Evil, I'm going to give myself some skills. Alright, so that's it. Um, Thoughts on the third episode? Same as the one with Claire. It's not that big a deal. Claire kind of have some more interesting stuff reveal with her story and with Neil, and we finally get to have a little bit of information about Natala, that he wasn't only infected, and we kind of knew that since episode 1. I mean, I like to say we, but I mean, when I put myself into a game, it's just me. And when I say we, usually because I like to see myself in the avatar skin. So it's like a two-sided thing. But from episode 1, I always knew she was shifty. I always knew it was weird. A random kid on a beach, kidnapped by someone else, just showed up there. No indication of where she came from. She just popped up there out of nowhere. And so she was kidnapped and infected and so on and so forth. Knew that episode 1 and episode 2. But I kind of knew from the beginning there was something creepy about her. Not just that she was kidnapped and infected and eventually turned into a monster. That there was something more than what happened to Neo. Like, there was something, like, very sinister about her. Like, if she was to be the final boss, like in Code Veronica, you get to fight Alexia Ashford. Or, not Alexia Ashford, but I think someone else. But she's kind of like a Code Veronica final boss or something. Or she reminds me that way. Or maybe she's something even more than that. Maybe she has like psychic powers or something that's very dark and sinister. It's very threatening and fearful. And I kind of knew that from the beginning, that they tried to make her into an innocent kid. But I knew from the jump that she was probably there's something really bad going on with her. Who knows? She might turn into a gigantic beast or something, or I have no idea. Um, but I do know from the beginning she was suspect. Just, but I didn't know Neil was a suspect. That's why I think I like his betrayal to Claire more than Barry's realization that his daughter's probably dead, and then get information that there's something going on with Natalia. Now that seems very, from Barry's standpoint, his side of the story is more attached, is more dedicated, and more sympathetic. But at the same time, it seems though Claire's side is more hollow. She's just trying to get the hell off the island. And Barry has more purpose to his story. His purpose and his side of the story seems more interesting. He just wants to rescue his daughter. That's it. And then discover what's going on in the process. That's all he wants to do. But they all want to get the hell off the island. But from my understanding, it seems that from Claire's side, she has more purpose in her story than Barry's side. Barry just wants to get her daughter off. And then there's something going on with Natalia. Get her daughter off the island, and there's something going on with Natalia. And that's about it. Whereas Claire also wants to get the hell off the island, wants to return Moira to Barry and find out what's going on here in the process while leaving the island at the same time. Then now she has to deal with Neil. So there are more going on in Claire's story than Barry's story. This is more like he's discovering things as he's going along in the story while he's trying to look for his daughter. So Claire's side of the story seems to be more interesting than Barry's side of the story, even though Barry's side of the story is more emotional. So it goes back and forth, but I believe Claire's side is more interesting than Barry's side. That's it. His emotions to his daughter is about the only thing that's important about his story. That seems to be stronger meaning. Him and his attachment to this child, because he didn't do certain things when he was young that he should have done with his daughter, and he's kind of trying to be a good dad and everything, and then this little girl is there. So they're trying to push the fact that to have some type of assistance towards this girl to rescue her and to be protective of her. But I don't really feel it. You know, it would have been, I would feel it if it was a bunch of children and she just happened to be the last survivor of the children that Barry was trying to desperately protect, and then, you know, they die off in the process in the game. But it's just her on the island trying to get off. He could have, I don't know how to say this. It's bizarre to be taking a child through all this nightmare stuff and to stick with the child. Yes, if you left the child by the boat, she will eventually die. But I'm pretty sure there's better ways to go about it than to fight off monsters or put yourself in a situation with monsters trying to attack you. Like the mechanics of leaving the child at a high place or at a hidden place so monsters can't attack, and then when it's all clear to try to go through. That makes sense, but at the same time, I don't feel that big of an attachment towards her and Barry as in comparison to Moira and Barry. I believe she's just more like filler there. So that's my opinion on that. It could be wrong, but still, even if the emotional journey on Barry's side is better than Claire's, there are more things going on Claire's side than there is going on Barry's side. Simply probably because it's obviously Claire. But that said, the episode 3 wasn't that great. Episode 2 was better than episode 1 in my opinion. And episode 1, I would say Claire and Moira trying to figure out what the hell is going on the island. And I would say episode 2 comes first, episode 1 comes third, and episode 3 comes second. So 2, 3, and 1. I mean, even though more things are revealed in episode 3, episode 2 had far more interesting things going on inside of it than episode 3. You had additional characters to pop up in it. You had a better cutscene, a better animated cutscene within the story. Better subject matters. You get to discover what's actually going on the island through notes that's described in episode 2. So it's more fleshed out and more dynamic that way. And the fights were a little bit more interesting in episode 2 than episode 3. The most interesting fight in episode 3, I would probably say, is the I mean, I hate to say this, but the Titans seem to, or the Neo turning into Titan seemed to be the best fight out of the monsters I've fought, or even sub monsters. It's not that great. That's why I believe episode 2, even though the monsters weren't that great fight, they were more like hordes of enemies you gotta survive for the end of the episode. And that seems to be more tense than one fight, one shot, one kill with a group of enemies. So I would go with 2, 3, and 1. 1 has a better introduction to the game and story at the beginning, but the overall story of the game of 1, the first episode, isn't better than the overall story and what's going on and the reveals that are in 2 and 3. So I go 2, 3, and 1. Yeah. So, or I would say 1 and 3 are the same. That's what I'll do. Episode 2 is good. Episode 1 and episode 3 are about the same. I'm gonna give the game only like one additional point because it piqued my interest in what's going on with Natalia. It piqued my interest what's going to happen with Barry. He's going to burn the island down. He's going to get revenge, whatever is going on. It also piqued my interest in that there are hidden weapons and certain things within the game, through puzzles or through figuring out how to traverse certain areas. I couldn't get that rifle. I was trying to get the rifle, so unique ways to actually find certain weapons or find certain medallions or get certain clues or certain ammunition. So I would give it just an extra point for the story and probably another point simply for making the puzzle section of everything more interesting than it was in the first episode or the second episode. It makes you think a little bit more of how you gotta traverse a certain map in order to get to a weapon or in order to solve something so you could get an item. I'm not talking about the stuff in the crate either. I'm just talking about trying to unlock a new weapon and how you could get it. I wasn't able to get that rifle. So, yeah, those two things. But that's just 2. I had this game at a 4.2. Now I'm at a 4.5. So it's still in the 4 category. It's not that great things going on with regards to the story. And I'm pretty sure by the end of the 4th episode, I might find at least 3 or 4 things that's good about that episode max. The 4th episode. So, yeah. So I'll probably get this up to like a 4.9 by the end of episode 4. And if it's more entertaining, I'll give it another point for that. I'll find 4 things. I only found 2 things within episode 3 that I found interesting. The one was what's going on in the story, and 2, interesting ways of actually doing or solving things in order to get weapons or ammunition. And that's it. The monsters weren't that great. Titan wasn't great. Barry's final battle with those monsters weren't great. About normal, I would say. Yep. That's it. And by the time episode 4 is over, it'll be a 4.9 or 5. So it'll after the end of the 4th episode, this will manage to get to the 5 category of being a 5 game. And then every additional feature that comes after the end of the 4th episode, they'll probably tally that in. But see what I'm saying? If I can only find 2 things within this game, I mean, now that I think about it, let me think about it. Is there anything other than interesting stuff with the story and puzzles or different ways to find things? Was there anything interesting I found within the sewer area? How to get around enemies? Oh yes, the stealth section has increased. How to do stealth, how to co-op has also increased. So there is a third thing that has increased. How to not get killed by giant spikes in the ceiling and not get blown the hell up or cut in half. That's also part of the whole puzzle process. So strategy and doing sneaking is not the same as solving puzzles. So, and desperately trying to figure out because everything is too samey in this game. But they'll slowly reveal every now and again some different things. Backtracking is obvious in every Resident Evil game. I won't even mention that. It's not that bad in this game. So I say, okay, so I'm at a 4.5. I'm at a 4.6 now. Because the stealth and how to do things in cooperative mode is just increasing a little bit more as you get deeper into the episodes. So it's a 4.6. So by the end of the 4th episode, it'll definitely be a 5. It'll definitely be a 5. Or a 5.1. But it'll definitely be a 5. And after the 5, then I'll be able to do additional points with regards to the game. But that's after the 4th episode. And I did say I gave it an extra point for a simple because the game is old. So that what made the game a 4. That's exactly what made this game a 4. Originally I had it at a 3 or a 3.5. No, I had it at a 3. And then I gave it a 4.44 because I understand the game is old and budget wasn't that great. But even with all that, it's only managed to accumulate 6 points after I played the 3rd episode. So it wasn't even able to get a full point. Because, like I said before, I do things based on 0 going to 1. So 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, and then you get to 1. And I do things by points because if I did things by just 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, this game would have been like an 8 or a 9 out of 10. You can't do it like that. You have to nitpick and look at the details within the game. You have to do it. Anything, if you don't do it, then you just don't give a shit. You just want to play games and you have your personal opinion, but you don't have the right to actually critique a game in detail and say a game is good if you're not actually critiquing it correctly. You have to look at the devil in the details to say if something is good or not. This game at the moment is a 4.6. I doubt this game will even make it past 6 by the end. This game will probably be a 6. Lower than Zombie Army. Lower than Strange Brigade. Like, this game is more popular than those games. The game franchise is more popular than those games. But those games have so many things working for them that's far more interesting and far more appealing than in this game. I mean, one of the main takeaways from the game is that it's so dark that you really have to force yourself to see. And that's not that great. And the menu screen, like this menu screen right here, isn't that great at all. It looks kind of cheap and run down. Now, this game came out 5 years ago. So, I mean, it's not like they didn't have an idea of how to create something interesting. This was obviously done by an independent company or a third party company, or even like certain groups within the company that could make the game and wanted to distribute it. So I'm not going to fault the game for that. I already gave it a full unearned point for that. So I'm not giving this game any more unearned points. So this game will probably be a 5 tomorrow because I'm at 4.6. And then before I close out the game and look at all the features, all the skins and stuff, it'll probably make it to a 6. And that's just me being generous and giving it a 6. You know, me being nitpicky, I would say this game is probably a 5.5, slightly above average. But me being not being picky and being generous to the game will probably be, if I was to give it a 5.5 before the game is over, me being generous to the game without it actually deserving it will probably get it to 6 or 6.5. And if anyone that has this game in the 7 or the 8 category, you definitely don't know what the hell you're talking about. Like, you don't know shit about games. I mean, you can make money off games and off people who make games and play online streamings and all that. I don't give a fuck how smart you are, to be honest with you, or how much money you're making. If you're not critiquing, if you're not critiquing something in 100 respects to the content itself and being truthful about it, then you don't give a damn, man. You're doing your job just to make that money and to live your life. Like, you will never be a full gamer, a true gamer, because your interests will eventually end one day, and you will retire to some island and sit back and not worry about anything. Well, whereas me, even if I turn into a 70 or 80-year-old man, I may not be playing games anymore, but I'm still going to be supporting those who are playing games and still be within the video game arena or the video game culture, and be part of someone who are financially supporting them, educationally supporting them, visually supporting them, creatively supporting them, educationally supporting them, because this is a lifestyle type thing for me. I do this on my off time freely, and I archive these things for myself. So if anyone's hearing this, and you don't have to hear this. You could go to a big old million view streamer or streams or whoever they are and get a whole bunch of bullshit lies to you, because that's exactly what you want. You don't give a damn about the truth. You want to hear entertainment. But the truth and entertainment are two different things, and believe me, these so-called entertainers will probably tell you that they're actually telling the truth, but the devil in the details, that's the truth. That's the real truth, the nitty-gritty truth, the rock-bottom truth. And if they don't have the time to do all that, then why the hell are you doing it? If you're so worried about entertaining everyone and giving everyone the value they want, I want to watch this, I want to see you play this, I want to do this, I want to see this, I want to see that, I want to see that, can you do this? They won't have time to look at the devil in details because they're too busy entertaining everyone else. So, what do you want? You want entertainment or you want truth? One or the other. So that's it for this game. Tomorrow I'm going to finish it up. And if I don't finish it up tomorrow, I'm definitely going to finish it up on Tuesday or Wednesday. So I just want to get this one out the way. I already told it's not that great. I mean, I believe Zombie Army 4 and Strange Brigade is far more interesting. Even though Strange Brigade is clunky and their story is very slow and they don't have online features for the game, they left that out. They made the game a solo playing game, but they have multiplayer as well, and it's very strange and very bizarre. But their multiplayer features work a hell of a lot more. It's about the only thing bad about Strange Brigade is that their story is kind of weak, and the cooperative side of the multiplayer is It's not something that they invest in with regards to skins and regards to outfits and regards to attachment and weapons and that stuff that makes multiplayer interesting. If they did, that game would have been exceptional. But I believe that game is slightly above this game. If I'm going to give this game a 6 or a 6.5, then that game is in the sevens. And I gave Zombie Army 4 a 6.5, I believe, or even a 7. And I give Strange Brigade a 6.5, I believe. Yeah, I believe anywhere from 6 to 6.5 I give for Strange Brigade. So if I'm going to give Strange Brigade a 6.5 or a 6.5, 6 to 6.5, then I'll definitely say this game and Strange Brigade are on equal footing. Because there are so many things in that game that's exceptional than this game, and there's so many things in this game only on the story mode basis. Only on the story mode basis. That's better than that game. Only on the solo story mode basis. Everything else in that game is far more exceptional and interesting in that game. And yes, there's a leveling system and raid mode and all this stuff that makes it you want to invest in that. Whereas Zombie Army just have co-op play, and there's no investment in increasing weapons and all that stuff. So I believe both games are in the 6 category. This game is definitely not in the 7 category. This game is in the 6 category. I would say this game is, at best, if this game was to outdo Strange Brigade, it would be 5 points more than that. And then Strange Brigade would be 6. But if I put Strange Brigade at a 6.5, then this game will definitely be a 6.8 or 6.9. This game cannot be a 7. Alright, it'll be a disrespect to put this game as a 7 and Strange Brigade as in the 6th category. When, as an entertainment value game, that's more interesting. Just like the same as Zombie Army. I believe Zombie Army, Metacritic has Zombie Army at 6.5. I got it at a 6.8. Or if I'm correct, I remember my personal interest with regards to Strange Brigade was a 5.8, and I gave it a whole number of 6. But my personal identification of that game as a actual personal score was a 5.8. So even that game I put as a 5.8. So if this game is going to be slightly better than Strange Brigade, it has to be in the 6 and 6.5 category. There are too many things that this game gets wrong for it to be in the 7. Too many things. I swear to God, if I find this game as a 7 or 8 on those any other website other than those Metacritics and GameStop and so on and so forth, I'm gonna laugh my ass off. It's like, man, you shitbags don't know anything. Like, you look at every aspect of a game. Every aspect of a game. Every aspect. You want to make money, you want to get popularity and stuff online. It's like, yeah, you might be smarter than me in those categories, but you gotta look at every aspect of the game, man. Plain and simple. I don't care about any of that bullshit. If you cannot look at every aspect of the game and critique it fairly, then you are not evaluating the game. You're giving your personal thoughts on the game from a personal point of view, and everyone leans towards you because you have a certain amount of subscribers or a certain amount of views or a certain amount of followers. And so the popularity of knowing so many people are hearing you saying positive things about the game or negative things about the game, the people who make the game up the price and so on and so forth as part of that business. I mean, that's just the way it is. Are you telling the truth? Nope, you're not telling the truth. You're lying. Your popularity is what makes you able to get so many views and make the price of the game and the ranking of the game go up. Because so many people are being entertained by you that has nothing to do with the game. That's what I think about when it comes to certain things of streamers or business companies, so on and so forth. If you're not telling the truth by the nitty gritty, you're bullshitting. Plain and simple. And it doesn't matter what some nobody in some neighborhood of some nobody place thinks. I don't give a damn what you think about me. I give a damn about hearing the truth. That's the whole reason of why I started to do these videos in archive. Because I see too many of these assholes lying. Too many people bullshitting. If you're gonna do the truth, you gotta do the truth all the damn time. Until it's time for you to go to the grave. Until it's time for you to go to the grave. You have to tell the truth all the time when it comes to something. Otherwise, the moment you slipped and become something else, then you kind of taint everything else you did prior in the past. That's how it goes. The person in the past who used to do things the right way is not the person who you are now. You know, you're a shell of who you used to be. Very thin veneer. So, who knows? That's when I think about people who don't bullshit all the time eventually because they want money in the pockets or viewers or all the... And kiss my ass, man. Kiss my ass. You either tell the truth or you get the hell out of here. Alright? This game does not deserve to be in no 7 category. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Be ashamed of everything you've been doing in the video game industry. You should be ashamed if you're looking at yourself in the mirror. And you know what? You're not going to be ashamed. Because you don't give a fuck about video games. You never have and you never will. And yes, and I'm talking to those who watch this who don't give a shit about video games, who probably make money off people who watch video games or watch movies or watch movies about video games, so on and so forth. Like, yeah, you assholes. You're gonna be an asshole till the day you die. I'm gonna make sure I make some anonymous website name and from some anonymous place, and then I'll comment to you on your section or wherever. You wouldn't know it's me. I'm just gonna point out all your faults. Was bullshit artists or bullshit artists to the day they die. The amount of people you got, the amount of company or franchise company, nah, you won't be able to slide your way through. People will know bullshit when they see it and hear it. And hey, that's just the way it is. This is probably a 6 game most. It doesn't deserve anything else. So that's all I gotta say with regards to Resident Evil Revelations 2. The 4th episode better be good. Better be really good. Or I'm gonna be very pissed off. I probably won't even make it to 6 if it's bad. So, yeah, that's my thought on that. I gave Strange Brigade 5.8. This might slightly be above Strange Brigade. It might actually hit that 6. But if it pissed me off, it might be in the same category as Strange Brigade. It might be a 5.9, 5.8. I believe it might be a 6. But no more than a 6. Harsh. Hey. Honesty is always harsh. And I'm personal honesty, because this is my personal honesty, based on what I'm seeing. Now, if everyone else is giving their honest opinion, are they really giving their honest opinion? If you actually show someone something that of a certain color, say, no, I love that color, even though that color might be completely ugly to you. Difference of opinion is one thing, but I'm talking about the foundation and the inclusions of content. Are all those things in there? And then, once you see all those things in there, and all those things present, then you could start to give your personal opinions with regards to the game on how something looks versus how other people might think it looks. That's all I can say about that. So, I'm done with this.